work or walking just fine, talking just fine. Got me a couple bags. Come on, baby. A couple of landlords. I'm going to tell everybody the story here. Got me a swig. Finally was able to get me a coffee. So hear me out this morning. Scott Chappell and James Myers. Fucking wild as fuck. I'm in the shower, you know, washing off my spray tan with my shampoo and stuff. I hop out the fucking shower, and these crazy guys, James Myers, the owner of the building at 35 Market Street, ends up banging on the bathroom door. So I'm like, what's your problem, dude? Like, what's going on? You know, like, trying to figure out why he keeps on banging on the door. Like, I'm literally hopping out of the shower. And I end up leaving the shower, you know, going out, trying to go to my room, and James Myers is like, here's your court paperwork for your eviction. He's like, I'm gonna be taking you to court. And I tell him, I'm like, hey dude, that's totally cool with me. Like, you know, I'm fine with going to court. And James Myers is the actual owner of the building. Ends up cussing me out, saying, hey, you're a pile of trash, Tony, and says, hey, you know, like, F you, like, for squatting, you know, for not paying your rent. And I said, hey, I've always paid you in the past, you know. I lost my job, I've been jobless for almost a month now, so I did come on hard times, and, you know, the way I've been treated by James Myers and Scott Chappell is the whole reason why I do not pay these guys. Is one of the biggest reasons. So anyways, I say, yeah, bro, let me have the paperwork, and he goes off on me and starts, being real aggressive towards me, James Myers, and he's an older man, you know, he's like 65, 70, and I wasn't being aggressive towards him. And he starts, cussing me out, telling me I'm a big, pile of trash, this and that, and I tell him too, I say, hey, what you and James have been doing to me is not right, you know. What you and Scott have been doing to me is not right. You know, you guys have been harassing me, throwing feces on my door, you know, blaming me for stuff that's not even true. Let me get a swig here. I'm at Walmart grabbing a few groceries. So, after James Myers was cussing me out, being rude towards me, I started cussing him out, being rude towards him. And Scott Chappell was downstairs, and he comes running up the stairs, starts threatening me. He says, "Hey, you know, don't talk to James Myers, you know, the owner of the building. Don't talk to him that way." And I tell Scott, "Hey, dude, this guy came off to me very, very wrong and very, very violent. You know, he started swearing at me, cussing at me, started being very, very aggressive towards me." You know, and I'm not the kind of dude that's going to take, you know, being aggressive towards, you know, being yelled at, being, you know, I don't like being bullied. So I told Scott, I said, hey, man, he was being mean towards me first, so I was being mean towards him, you know, verbally mean. And, I told Scott, I said, hey, dude, I'm just trying to get to my room. Like, I just left the shower, you know, I was wiping off my spray tan and everything. I'm just trying to get to my room and get on with my day. And Scott Chappell got up in my face and said, hey, you motherfucker, started threatening me, saying he's going to whoop my ass, this and that. And I was just trying to get to my room, you know, just trying to de-escalate the situation, trying to get away from everything. Just trying to get to my room, and he ends up, wouldn't get out of my face, like his spit was coming out of his mouth and like getting in my eyes and stuff, and he ends up spitting on me 100%. Like, it wasn't a big spit, but it was quite a bit of spit. So I end up spitting on him back. And hear me out. I never throw the first swing. I never do. It's smart not to. So Scott ends up slugging me 2 times in my fucking eye. So I say fuck it. I end up punching him a few times in his head, and I fucking grab him. I throw him to the wall. And then I tried getting out of there. I tried going downstairs and then getting out of the building so I can call the cops. And fucking James Myers, the owner of the building, is blocking the doorway, doesn't let me go through. And I'm trying to go downstairs so I can get out of this situation so I can call the cops. And he won't let me through. So he ends up not letting me through. So he shoves me a little bit. So I throw him to the wall. James Myers, and fucking he's got a fucking a broken foot or broken leg, and anyways, I end up making it down the stairs trying to get to a safe location for my safety and my protection, and I wasn't able to. Scott Chappell comes running downstairs, grabs me, throws me back into the wall, so I grab him, I throw him into the big glass nightstand, and fucking glass ends up going everywhere. I got a new pair of sneakers on, so I ended up cutting my right foot. So when I threw him into the big the stand that they have on the second floor, there's glass everywhere. I mean, it's nuts. Glass all over the floor, fucking pictures off. It was just craziness, total craziness. So when I threw him. And I'm being 100%. It was complete nuts. I was literally hopping out of the shower, and I'm getting harassed by a few guys, and Scott Chappell and James Myers. The whole thing is just craziness. When I threw Scott into the wall, into the stand there, he's got I guess a back injury he's claiming, and it's kind of crazy. None of them wanted medical attention. But when I threw him onto the side there, the stand there, there's a big glass stand, and all the glass started breaking. We ended up going on the floor, and when we went on the floor, I ended up grabbing a glass bottle. Like there was, in the hallway, there's a whole bunch of like old, Coke cans, glass bottles and stuff. I ended up grabbing a glass bottle and busting it on him. It was completely just craziness. It was uncalled for. It really was. But what I always say, fight's a fight. I'm a bigger man. I'm at Walmart now trying to just, have everything de-escalate. Fight's a fight. I'm not scared. I got a little war wound. It ain't nothing, man. I'm still walking, still talking, baby. We out here working. Woo, we out here, baby. I've been in several scuffles. Don't get me wrong. I'm not scared. I'm going to defend myself if I feel threatened. And yes, there was James Myers, Scott Chappell, and then there was a third man up there. I don't know if that was James Myers' a lawyer or his friend, but there was a total of 3 men against me, against one person, three guys. So, and then the other guy didn't do anything, actually. He just stood there and probably witnessed everything that was going on. There was a lot of craziness this morning. The only thing that happened was, it was craziness. James Myers has got like a big time ankle sprain or leg sprain, or even maybe a broken foot or broken leg. He never got checked out. Scott Chappell's got a back injury. He never got checked out. I'm the only guy that really got checked out, because I got a scrape there on my eye. My right foot has been, I stepped on glass when all the glass ended up breaking. But yeah, a scuffle's a scuffle, a scrap's a scrap, I mean, it is what it is, You ain't going to push me around, I'm going to stand my ground 100%, I got, my duffel bag ended up, my man purse ended up getting ripped. So I went down to Marshall's and got a new bag, and it is what it is, I've been treated very, very wrong and very, very wrong by these guys, and, I'm a bigger man, I went to the hospital, got checked out, and I'm golden. I'm walking, talking, I'm golden, That's what you call trash right there, though, Trying to de-escalate a situation here, and I'm just on my own now for probably a few hours. It is what it is, a bigger man does walk away, I'm a bigger man, obviously, so I got checked out, and any of those guys, they're stupid for not getting checked out, always get screened, always get checked out, because you never know, so I got checked out, vitals were good, I'm talking, my memory's good, so just little bruises, other than that, I'm going, so it is what it is, fight's a fight, it is what it is, so we out here, Auburn, New York, working. Going just fine. Walking, talking, standing. It's what it is. Scuffle's a scuffle, All these punk kids, Craziness. Scuffle's a scuffle. They think it's a big deal. Nah, it's a scuffle, Landlord's talking crazy. The manager's talking crazy. And you know what? They put their hands on me first. Of course, I'm going to defend myself. 100%. 100%, Scuffle's a scuffle, fight's a fight, we out here, Auburn, New York, stand your ground, boys, girls, I'm a good man, I'm a good dude, treat people the way you want to be treated. It is what it is. So I'm walking away. Bigger man does walk away. So that's what I did. Got checked out, got looked at. I'm golden. So, anyways, we out here, Auburn, New York. We got the bus coming right here. Right here, we got the bus here. So everybody knows I'm gonna end her live here.